Good morning, this is Dr. TF. I'm yet again gonna present you a program on Golang by Google. So in the first video we have seen how you can install this particular software, and we have also seen how to make a basic output statement by the program Hello World. And in this program I'm going to just give you a basic insight of how you can get a variables and how you can print them, and by using for loop as well. Okay, for this let me present a program on average of n numbers. Okay, so this is a program that computes the average of n numbers, and the syntax is pretty much the same as you have done already in C or C++ or even Java, kind of program. Let me highlight once again, this is a case sensitive language, so make sure that you type in the capital letters for the function name starters. As you can see in the program, the P and S for print and scan statements are caps here. Okay, all the other things are all in small letters, so you not to worry about it. Okay, without further ado, let me get to the program here. So the first statement, I think you are aware, I've shown it in the last program as well. So that's going to be the package statement, where you're going to import the main package here, a mandatory one again. And the second line is going to give you the preprocessor statement. Okay, so the preprocessor is going to be FMT, the formatting statement for basic input or output, that is the print and the scan statement for this particular language. So you can import the the preprocessor in the second statement. And the third, which we have seen it before, you have a function declaration, a main function. So func is the keyword followed by the keyword main, which denotes it's a main function. And here you have the program. Okay, so I'll just go into the program. First you consider this two lines. Okay, this part is very common, you might have seen in all compiled languages as Go, in Java or C or C++, is a variable declaration part. So in variable declaration part, we are going to declare all the variables that are going to be used inside the program. Okay, we'll talk about the scopes later. For now, just understand this is the basic way you need to declare the variables here. So let's take it one by one. It starts with the keyword where. So whatever the data type it is, you're going to put the variable first three letters var as the first part of the syntax. Here we call them as tokens here. Let me put the word carefully. Tokens is what we call here in this Go language. We'll go deep insight into that later in the course. For now, just understand that to start the variable declaration, you start with the where keyword. Okay, followed by a blank space. You can have a blank space here. Then you will have the variable name. Okay, this I guess is pretty much clear. You might have seen it already in other programming languages. It is a array type of variable. If num is going to be normal variable, you don't be having this the square bracket number. Okay, which is common for array variables. You have the range for an array, or the amount of variables is going to hold. Okay, so where is the first token that you need to put, space bar, the name of the variable, whatever it is. Here it is num of 100, followed by a white or a blank space again, and followed by the type of the variable it is. Makes sense? So the syntax is going to be var keyword followed by the name of the variable followed by the type of the variable. Okay, so there is one more syntax in which you can just put an equals, and you can just put the variables on the right. The values on the right. Okay, so you can put a equality operator and put the values on the right. That is again a type of variable declaration here. Okay, makes sense? And the second line, you can see var, obviously the keyword that you need to put before any variable declaration, followed by the variables separated by commas. So in the second line you have three variables: temp, which probably computes the intermediary values or stores the intermediate values; sum, which is going to compute the sum, the addition values of all numbers; and avj, which is going to give the average value of the n numbers that you're going to sum it. Okay, so these three values are going to be integer, as we know generally. So here we are going to put, instead of putting var temp int, var sum int and var avj int, we are just going to couple it all into a single statement. So this is again a valid syntax in Go. Okay, clear? So that is how you need to declare a variable in Go. Okay, so next you have these two format functions. I think it's pretty much straightforward. You have a format followed by dot operator, then you have a print which outputs enter the number of elements to the user, so the user can understand what he must do next. And next state line you have a format dot scanln and ampersand temp. This is you might have seen it in C++ and Java syntaxes. Okay, so ampersand is going to store the temp variable in the location. So just temp is going to be the value. So for input statements you always use this ampersand operator just to make sure that it stores in this address. Okay, it's an address of operator. I repeat, it's an address of operator. So this statement is going to get the value from the user. So this is a prompt statement at the start where the user knows that what he should enter, and this will be the kind of input statement given to the user, given to the system from the user. Okay, so the next is going to be the part where you're going to compute the sum. Okay, pretty much same in all languages except for the minor differences in syntaxes. Let me tell what is that. First you take the for loop here. This is a for loop that computes the sum of n numbers. So in this for loop we take the first line. The first line, there is only one difference between this syntax and the C++ syntax. Yes, you are right. It doesn't have a circular bracket here. For C or C++, you do have a circular bracket, something like this, right? But up here, you don't have a bracket like this. So that is the only difference you have. And obviously, you don't find the terminator semicolon anywhere in the program. Okay, so it's something like a C++ without a semicolon and with the case sensitiveness. Okay, and the next line is going to be format print, which prompts the user that you need to enter the number. Okay, and the next line is going to be, you have an input statement from the user, or if I can say the series of input statements from the user to get all the numbers that he tries to enter. Okay, the next sentence is going to be the sum, which computes the sum of n numbers. This is pretty much something like sum equal to sum plus num of I, and this operator does the same purpose as it does for other object oriented or compiled languages. Okay, that is sum equal to sum plus num of I. So it's going to be sum plus equals num of I. Okay, both are pretty much the same. We are just trying to reduce the number of statements or the lines, or if I could say the terms that are used in the program. Okay, so that's it. You close the for loop. Once the for loop is over, the sum has been computed. Once the sum is being computed, you go through the average, the basic things, equals sum divided by 10. So it's going to give you the average of n numbers. So the average is counted, the sum is counted, and the number do you have. Okay, so once that is over, we need to output the average of n numbers to the user. To do that, you format this printf and you try to give the average of n numbers. Simple as that. Okay, so there is something else which I want to tell you here. There are two print statements here. Okay, both works pretty much the same. It is going to output, or it is going to prompt the user to give some input, or it's going to give some output to the user. But this print is just going to give the output without any formatting. Make sense? That is, it doesn't have any kind of variable inside it. But this particular printf is going to be the formatted output, where the system is going to, or the compiler is going to understand that %d is going to be of integer data type. For those who have learned basic programming languages, they know to denote integer data type, you use a %d for the variable that you're going to output. Okay, so this %d is going to be for temperature, denoting it as an integer, and this %d is for average, denoting it again as an integer. Okay, so that's it about this average program. Now let us try to execute this one. So first of all, yeah, we need to go to the location. Since we don't use an IDE, we go to a location. Later on the course, if I do have a time or something, I'll just go ahead and do things on IDE. Surely when we go through cryptography, we'll be using this IDE. So just check you don't have, you have to set the go bin here. Okay, now it's on. Now once this is on, you need to run the program. That is go run average.go. So I am telling you again, here you need to kind of disable the antivirus or add this executable file which is an output for this Go program to the exceptions, to the firewall exceptions. If you don't do that, it will take some time as it's taking it out for me, and you can see there is a popping up of Avast. I'm not sure if the screen capture is capturing you for that one. So this thing will delay you in executing the program. So if you're adding some exceptions, it's well and good. It will try to buy you some time, save you some time here. Okay, so you do that one. So it's getting some time. Now it's on. Okay, so you're entering the number of elements is 4 maybe. So say I'm just putting 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so average is giving you 6. Okay, now I just want you to see clearly here. It's the final statement is giving you the average of entered 4 numbers is 6. It is giving the right thing. It's not giving a %d here. This is because you have used a printf here. Okay, so let's just try the same program with the print statement now. Now I'll tell you, this particular print statement is not going to comprehend properly that the %d is going to be an integer, and it's just going to give the output. Okay, just see here. It's taking some time, and there is one more output statement which is called as println, that we have seen it in the before hello world program, which is going to print to the next line, a new line. Okay, so I guess you're all very much easy or well versed with print and println, which is going to print to a new line and to the same line. But this one is something different, which is going to give a formatted output. Okay, so number of elements, let me enter the same input again so that you can see the difference in the output. Yeah, now you just look into this part of the program, and if you can just see this, for printf it is giving 4 number is 6. When we just put print here, it is giving %d numbers is %d, then it is giving 4,6. There's no comprehension of the output here. So that is one major difference between print and printf. Okay, we are supposed to put printf here. Okay, that's the right thing. The reason for me to highlight or to take some time to give you a difference between print and printf, I couldn't find a proper tutorial on print or printf with respect to Go programming for beginners level. For newbies, there wasn't a proper level of tutoring within upon the internet. So I tried to give this thing to you. So whenever there is a formatting to the output, make sure you use printf, and when there is a normal kind of output to the string, you use print. When you want to use a new line, use a println. Okay, to sum it all up, apart from computing the average, we have seen how to declare the variables, yes, and we have seen how to use a for loop, and about printf, print and println function. Okay, feel free to comment, subscribe if you are not subscribed before. Let me know what you think so that I can do better. Happy hearts everyone. Good day. See you. Bye.